Hi, I'm Jeff Howard from MastermindMentor.com and Visionary Business University. I wanted to spend a few minutes with you today to teach you a technique or a tool. It's a really powerful tool that you can use as a part of your entrepreneurial tool belt or really in any area of your life. And it's called EFT or tapping, meridian tapping, MTT, emotional freedom technique. There's a lot of different names that it goes by. But basically what it is a way of activating your body's energetic meridian system. So it's based on the philosophy that anything that's going on with you, whether it's a physical pain, emotional, mental, trauma, whatever it might be, is based in the emotions. And if we can bring that emotion up and we can activate the meridian system, then we can actually release that. And I use it in my coaching practice all the time. It's really powerful, it's really fast, it's really easy to learn. So I'm going to spend a few minutes with you today to show you the basics of the technique and walk you through just an example of how it works. So there's a few things that you need to know. First of all, you need to know what are the tapping points. So first of all, we have something called the karate chop point. That's right here on the fleshy part of the hand. And you use 3 or 4 fingers to tap on that, 2, 3, 4 fingers, whatever works for you. It's just like if you were going to do a karate chop, like hi-ya, that part of your hand. So when we tap on that, we do something called a setup phrase, and I'll get into that in just a minute. And then there are different forms of the points that people like to use. The most common, the ones I like the most, is first one is called the eyebrow point, which is just right at the end of your eyebrow. Not quite in the center, but right at the end. And then the second one is the side of the eye, so you just follow the bone around to the side, and it's over here. Then there's underneath the eye, which is, again, you follow the bone right underneath your eye, and it's right to the center there. Under the nose, and that is right in that little crease mark, where it's between your nose and your upper lip. The chin point, which is between your lower lip and your chin, so in between right here. And then the collarbone point. And what I like to do here is just use an open hand like this and just kind of tap all around the area of the collarbone. So there's this little crook in your chest right here where the bone comes down. So all around that area, and you're going to hit that point. And then under the arm, which is about 4 inches below your armpit, or for women it's about mid-bra strap level, you tap on that, either with your open hand or your fingertips. And then the top of the head, which is all around the crown point of your head. So you can do that with 1 finger, 2 fingers, multiple fingers, whatever works for you. So one of the things that I want to emphasize is there's really not any way to do this wrong. There's some ways that you can refine the process, and the words that you use are important, but don't get caught up in all the words. So what we want to do also is we want to measure how you feel about what it is you're tapping about at the beginning, because what tends to happen is that you start tapping through and it just, like, whatever you're dealing with just kind of goes away, and then you go back to it and go, oh, it wasn't so bad in the first place. So you want to give yourself a scale so you actually know how much progress that you're making. So we could tap on a lot of different areas. People use it for money, for stress. It's really great for stress and anxiety release really quickly. You can just start tapping on this point. You can start to breathe and just really sort of feel that anxiety start to shift, and it happens very, very quickly. So why don't we use as an example, since we're basically doing this as part of Visionary Business University. Let's focus on something that comes up with entrepreneurs a lot, and that would be overwhelm. So whether that's overwhelm of you having too much to do in your job, or in your business, I should say, too much to do, like too many different areas you're trying to cover, or whether, say, you're doing a big program like we're doing here at VBU right now, 3 programs a week, 3 lectures a week for 8 weeks, a little bit of overwhelm of information potentially. So let's talk about overwhelm, and let's use overwhelm as our example. And you can really do this with anything. Literally, the motto of EFT is try it on everything. And so whatever it is that's going on with you, you can tap through it and get a sense of relief from it. So let's just say that you're really overwhelmed about all this information that you're trying to absorb, whether it's VBU or some other learning program. So we could start off by doing a setup phrase by tapping on the karate chop point. And the setup phrase starts with even though, and you fill in the blank. So even though I'm really overwhelmed by all this information, I still completely accept myself. That's the words. Even though I'm really overwhelmed with all this information, I still completely accept myself. Or you can say I still completely love and accept myself if you're comfortable with that. Even though I really feel overwhelmed right now, I still completely love and accept myself. And we do that 3 times, tapping on the karate chop point as your setup phrase. And then all you have to do is just name the problem. So I'm overwhelmed. So we start tapping on the points. I'm overwhelmed. I'm really overwhelmed. Go to the side of the eye, under the eye, I'm really overwhelmed. Under the nose, wow, I'm overwhelmed. It's too much information. Wow, I'm just really feeling overwhelmed. It's really stressing me out. You can just use whatever words kind of come to mind. Underneath the arm, you say, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm really overwhelmed. Top of the head. So at the beginning of this, you would have said, okay, so this feeling of overwhelm that I'm feeling right now, where is it on a scale of 1 to 10? So 1 being, it's really not a big deal, and 10 being, wow, you're just about to be totally stressed out and your head's about to explode. It's that bad. Okay, so let's say you started somewhere in a 7 range. Like when I started this video, I did 3 or 4 takes and got a little bit frustrated, and I tapped a little bit, and that came down, and it made it a little simpler. So, a little frustration about the video. Even though I'm frustrated with doing this video, I still completely love and accept myself. So I went from about an 8 or a 9 and being frustrated down to about 5, and then sat down, pushed the button, and here we are. So it works really, really well for this kind of thing, for just about anything you can imagine. So after you do a couple of rounds of tapping, then you just stop and take a deep breath, breathe it out, and then stop and think about, how do you feel about it now? On a scale of 1 to 10, would you say it's now 5? Is it 7 still, or is it maybe down to a 3? Ideally, we want to get it down to a 1 or 0, altogether. But when you're up in a 9 or 10 range, anything is relief, right? So we're just looking to get that relief. So let's do another round. And oh, by the way, there's something that I really look for when I work with EFT with clients, and also when I just do it on my own. And that is, sometimes something strange will come up. A thought that seems like it doesn't make any sense will come up in your head, and you're thinking, wow, why am I thinking about that? But don't dismiss that kind of thing, because we get a lot of juice out of that type of when something comes up, it's like leading you down a path that can help you to determine really what the core issue might be surrounding this sense of overwhelm in this case. So if you all of a sudden, remember a time when, your mother made you do so many chores, well, maybe that has to do with this sense of overwhelm. It's kind of stuck in your core belief system. So you could then, if you have that kind of a thought, here's another example, you could say, well, even though my mom made me do too many chores and I was always feeling overworked, I still completely love and accept myself. Even though my mom made me do too many chores and I was always overworked, I still completely love and accept myself. Even though my mom made me do too many chores, I still completely love and accept myself. And you start with the points again. My mom made me feel overwhelmed. My mom made me feel overworked. My mom gave me too many chores. My mom made me do too much work. My mom made me, and you just go on and on like that. You tap around the points until you get all the way through, tapping on the top of the head. Stop, take a deep breath, let it out. And then once again, measure yourself on that scale and check in with yourself. Did something else come up for you? How are you feeling now in relation to that problem? Sometimes the thing you think is the problem isn't really the problem. It's just a symptom of the problem. There's something underneath that. There's some core issue that you want to try to address. And the closer you can get to it, and the closer you can define the words, around how that makes you feel, the more relief you're going to get more quickly. So that's how tapping works in a nutshell. And I wanted to just give you a quick lesson so that you can now apply this. And there's lots of places you can go for more information. There's tons of other videos on YouTube and different places that you can, it's not hard to find information in different types of tapping routines. But as far as our program with VBU, I just wanted to give you a quick one to show you how this works, how to do it, and how you can then apply it to your life and your business. So this is Jeff Howard again, Visionary Business University, and I am so glad you're here. I'll talk to you again soon.